thank Remax Crest again, great brokerage. If you're looking to do a switch, you can talk to them and find out how to make things easier. And this lovely lady, Cassidy, is unbelievable. If you've ever met her, like, she's just a doll. And so if you're interested in maybe checking out all that Remax has to offer, because they do lots of training. I do a lot of work with Remax. I work with other brokerages as well, but a lot of work with Remax because they see the value in hiring me to train their agents. So check out Cassidy and let's get started. So I always have to do a little blurb about who am I and why am I talking to you about stuff, right? So let's just briefly talk about why I'm here talking about DocuSign and other technologies. So I was on TV for 3 seasons doing tech tips for BlackBerry at the time and some other software. I've been in many newspaper, magazines, and radios. I have a whole bunch of IT designations, but I teach at our board, and actually I teach a 3-hour sessions on a kind of a beginner and advanced on DocuSign. We also have an AuthenticSign course at our board that somebody else teaches. And I teach at the California Association of Realtors, which is awesome. I love doing both of those. And I was voted top 100 women changing the shape of real estate. And I've been in information technology for decades, which is why I'm here. But part of the reason I'm here is because of this guy. So Terry Alsty is my husband. And what happened many years ago is I started looking at his systems when he first started being an agent, and it was kind of a big mess, like all over the place. I'm like, why are you doing this? And it's because he didn't know how to do certain things, right? So I took a look at his business from top down and said, we need to fix this so that you can manage your stuff easier. So instead of looking like this and driving on these square tires trying to get there, because you all can do deals, right? You'll all do them and you'll get there, but could it be more streamlined and easy to do? And this is part of using DocuSign, but really, I can't tell you guys, and if you've ever heard me talk before, is that the key thing that messes up almost every single agent that I've ever helped, and I've helped thousands now, is your email address. If your email address is not set up properly or is not a proper business email address, I know that you're having problems for many reasons, because it's not linked properly to cloud storage, it's not linked properly to possible these third-party applications that I'm going to talk about today, the DocuSign. Really, are you losing business because you don't have a proper email set up? And I'm going to guess the answer is yes. And I know that because I've seen it over and over and over again, where agents come to me because they're losing emails or nothing's talking to each other. And it's because of that darn Shaw, Yahoo, TELUS, AOL, I'm trying to think of all the ones that are out. There's so many out there that if you're using a free email address, you're not running your business properly. And that everything stems from that top down. And I cannot stress enough, if you don't understand what I'm talking about, set up that, take advantage of the deal that I've given you, okay? It's so, I can't tell you how it's so important. I can't even stress it. Okay. So I want you to actually be like this guy, so you'll all be happy and stress-free and save time. And DocuSign or document signing is one of those things that is really important, okay? So we're going to just briefly talk about it in generalities. So, you know, we don't want to be faxing anymore, right? You don't need a fax machine in your office. Generally speaking, you can use a scanning app, which I'll talk about. You can scan things now and not fax them. Do not take images. Oh my goodness, friends. You know what I'm talking about, right? Do not take images, pictures of deals, because it's really, or contracts or whatever you're doing, because it's really hard from the other end to get, 8 pages of JPEGs. You guys hear me, right? I'm not the only one that hates that. I've seen it over and over. I've actually had agents phone me because they have no idea what to do with these JPEG images. Now you want to merge them together and you want it to be a proper PDF. But the people who are doing that don't understand technology. You should never, ever be taking an image of a contract. You should be using a scanning app that will save it in the proper format. Does that make sense? Yes? Okay, let me just see. You guys all good? Yes. Okay, I don't see any. Let me, hold on. Let me get the chat back. I lost my chat. Okay, perfect. Okay, yes, perfect. Okay, so we don't want you really to be using that machine there, which I believe is called a scanner, right? It's convenient for you, and gosh, it's convenient for your client. And if I, Angela, right, drives you crazy about that JPEG. This is the thing that I can tell you about technology, is that if you are a person that doesn't like it and it's very obvious to your clients, they're not going to like it. So you have to adapt and adopt and love this stuff, because the way you project to your clients is what they're going to feel about it. So example would be, if you say, oh, I just hate document signing and I'm not going to really use it. I know the younger people do, but it kind of sucks. And it sucks because you don't understand it. Okay. If you said, I have the best tools for us. Hey, client, you can be on vacation. I can be on vacation. You could be out at a soccer game with your kids or with your grandkids or whatever the scenario is. And all you have to do is open up it on your device and sign there. We don't have to meet. We can if you want, but we don't have to. Isn't that unbelievable? If you say it along those lines, they will totally adapt and adopt the way of doing things now, right? I can't tell you, like, you cannot poo-poo the idea about document signing, okay? And this is part of being paperless as well, because everything is stored in that cloud, right? It is easy once you understand any kind of software issues that might be. I'll talk about it today because I see it over and over again, because I've taught this class 1,000 times and I understand a lot of the issues that agents don't quite get. It's green. It'll impress your potential clients for sure. So think about this as well, as if you are maybe at a listing appointment and you, the other agent is, in their 30s and they're all over all this technology stuff, and they're telling them about, we got document signing and cloud storage and blah, blah, blah. And then you come in with your Yahoo email and you don't use any of this stuff. Could you possibly lose deals? I'm going to say absolutely yes. So you have to keep up with the times and how things work, okay? It does help you stand out. By hands down, helps you stand out. And it's cheap. Now, again, I know some of you are going to say some of them are really expensive. It is not expensive if you actually take into account all the time you spend driving and getting the documents and scanning, whatever, faxing, whatever you're doing before. It's cheap. It will save you not only time, but possible relationships. I cannot stress this enough, that when Terry started using document signing, it really did change the way, because trust me, I can't tell you, and I know that you guys, you have kids or partners or friends or somebody who rolls their eyes every time we're out and about having fun, and you got to go because you got to go get a deal done, right? I am not the only one. Do you know what I mean? And it's frustrating. So why not have the ability to just do it from wherever you are? Excuse yourself for 10 minutes, go over to their computer or use your device and just do it there. Does that make sense? Like, I can't even tell you that it's not expensive if you frame it a different way. It is a marketing tool, like I said, when you're on listing appointments, say, hey, we got this great thing, because some agents are cheap and they won't buy it. So if you do, you say, yeah, I use whatever software I'm using and this is how it's going to work. How awesome is that, right? So for sure, it's a great marketing tool. And of course, your time is valuable. Now, how do you want to get started? You do have to decide, obviously, which software. In the end, I am going to show one piece of software today, just because I can't show all of the top, 10 of them. I can't do it. But it's really just understanding the process is the same. Okay, so you have to decide which one you're going to use. And here, if I can give you a tip on something, is I will tell you why I prefer DocuSign over AuthentiSign. And AuthentiSign is a Canadian company, my American friends. I'm not big on it right now, and I'll talk about why. But if that's your thing and you love it, then awesome, use it. Use AuthentiSign, use DocuSign, use .loop or whatever system you're using right now, and if you love it, okay? So what I don't want you to do is to start asking on forums, because you know what's going to happen, right? You say, hey, I'm thinking of using AuthentiSign or DocuSign .loop, and you're going to get 1,000 different opinions. Just like if you say, hey, I'm thinking of getting a Mac or a PC, Mac users will tell you Mac, Windows users will tell you Windows. Like, it's just making things worse because you don't even know what to do. Do a little research on your own and see, and it really is about what you feel comfortable with. Does that make sense? Any questions? Are we all good? Okay, perfect. Let's keep going. Are you always on your computer? Because that does make a difference. So when I talk about this kind of stuff, is that I actually look at the software in the sense that if you're a real mobile agent, you're probably doing most of your stuff on your phone, or when a deal comes in, you're not going to have maybe a bigger device or your laptop with you. If you do, great. Then I say, all things being equal, it doesn't matter what you use, because if you're using a computer, the process is very similar. If you're using a mobile device, this is where I believe DocuSign wins hands down, and I'm going to show you how it works. But again, if you're using .loop or something else, the process is the same, okay? Process is the same. How are you going to use the technology? Are you always going to have to be in person? If that's your personality, maybe you need to rethink it, especially if you're in a big city. Like we're in a huge city in Vancouver, so it might be an hour, hour and a half drive to where your clients live. Do you really want to do that all the time? Probably not, right? If you're in a smaller city where it's 10, 15-minute drive, maybe that's not a big deal, but maybe it is. Maybe the clients don't want to have to get out of their pajamas to go sign something with you. You know what I mean? Think of your clients as well. Or are you on the go? Because that does make a difference. Do you want to use the mobile app of something? Okay. Long distance, what's your client's level of comfort? What we always do too is that we'll, when I say we, it's me and Terry. So when Terry is with clients, I know what he does. If they're uncomfortable with document signing, when they're together, he'll show them live how it works, right? In a great way, and being excited about it, not saying, oh, I hate this stuff, right? So that's a good way to get your clients comfortable with it. And then decide on the application, whether it syncs with web forms or Paragon or whatever you're using, right? Because we have people all across North America on this webinar. Everybody uses slightly different systems. And where do you get started? So that's, I said, decide on the software you're going to use and use it. What are you going to use? A laptop, computer, what apps or software on your mobile devices? So we'll talk about that today. And how you're going to, if you can link cloud storage accounts like Dropbox, Google Drive, OneDrive, iCloud, how you can link them. And I'll show you live how that works, linking the cloud storage. Here's a question for you guys, because this is, again, something that I feel that most agents still are uncomfortable with understanding cloud storage features and the benefits of what you get from it. So Dropbox, Google Drive, OneDrive, iCloud, I could log on to any almost any third-party application and say, use my cloud storage, which means I could log on to, like I'm going to show PDF Expert today. So I could log on to PDF Expert, I go to cloud storage and get that document I need directly from there that sits on my computer and is syncing, right? That makes sense? So it's really, really powerful. Natalie's asking about DigiSign. I don't know particularly about that, but again, I'm going to talk in generalities. I am going to show DocuSign, but it's all similar. I can't show all the different ones, but as long as you understand the process, and I'm going to talk about the process for every single transaction, okay? Okay, again, that cloud storage part, I want you to understand what cloud storage is. So this is just an overview because it does impact how you use document signing, because you have to understand the cloud storage side. So in really layman's terms, really at a basic level, all the cloud storage software is a folder on your computer, more or less. It's just a folder that's on your computer that says to the cloud, everything under that folder, I want to sync up to this cloud, that I can have access to it on all my devices or any software that I allow. That makes sense? Like really in simple terms, that's what it is. So I am a Google Drive user. What are you guys using? Just curious, do you use iCloud, do you use Dropbox, do you use Google Drive, do you use FileStream? What do you use? Love to hear. So type in the chat box, because what happens, and again, remember that top down I was talking about earlier? If you're running your business, and this is why it is really important to understand this. If you're running your business properly with the proper email address, which is not a free email address, it's your name at yourwebsite.com, right? And it's not a forwarder, it's a paid account. Only two companies really do this. It's Microsoft Office 365 Outlook or Google Business Systems, which is called G Suite. And In any other industry, I would say it probably wouldn't matter which one you choose. But in this industry, I do not recommend you buying Microsoft Business Email. You want to buy it from Google. Okay. And because what happens with that, so now you're a paying Google client. So I'm going to use my email address, darci@darcitalks.com. I'm a paying Google email client, which I get a whole bunch of things. I get support from Google. I get all this other stuff.
Sorry, I don't know how to
Did everyone hear that? Because I said, hey, Google. She heard me. I'm a paying Google account. Ask Google Home if you didn't know what that was. So what happens with that is all my contacts sync. I update my phone, my iPad, my Android, my whatever, my Mac Mail, my Outlook, everything talks to each other. Email folder structure, contacts, calendar, everything talks to each other. But with the fee I pay, I also get a terabyte of Google Drive space. What I see agents do, they might have some of that set up properly, but then they're also paying for Dropbox or iCloud or OneDrive. And then I'm like, well,
looks like there's a problem.
Hold on, I have to unplug her. Okay. She is, I keep hearing you say, hey, Google. Okay, so does that make sense? So why are you paying for two separate things? It makes no sense. So if your business systems are set up properly, you do one thing, the business plan for Google, and then you get a terabyte of Google Drive space, you get Google Photos, you get all these other YouTube attached to your business email, right? Does that make sense? So I do see people saying Google, Dropbox, OneDrive. And what's beautiful about this is that once you're using cloud storage like this, is that you also then, if you're sharing HOA documents or strata documents, you don't attach the individual strata minutes or HOA minutes. You give a link to the people, right? Does that make sense? Like that because we don't know those files are big, and you don't know if my email server, you might have to send 4 different emails. Like it's so inefficient. Everyone should be using links now and not attaching, 8 different files to an email, if that makes sense to you, okay? I've done webinars on that as well. Okay, so any questions or what I just was talking about, please ask away and let's keep going here. Okay, so this is a shot of my Google Drive, okay? So this is my computer and Google Drive. So if you look at the top, there's Google Drive and there's all my different folder structures. Then I download the Google Drive app, which is the exact same folder structure, whether it's an iPhone, an Android, or whatever else is new out there. It does not matter. It would be the exact same folder structure that I said, this is what I'm using on my computer. And if I give you any tip that on a computer, you should have every single thing, can I repeat that? Every single thing that is personal and business, that other than software install, everything should be under your cloud storage folder, which means that if your computer dies, it's sad, but all you do is download the software again and all your stuff comes back. Does that make sense? Like this, I can't tell you because people have come to me after saying, all my stuff's gone because you only had one folder inside your cloud storage account and everything else was on your computer that was not being backed up. Like this is really important to understand. Okay, keep going. So look at that. That is just showing you that these are exactly the same. And I can tell you that also another thing that you might want to consider, because this is all to do with being paperless, right? Is always do the same folder structure for whatever type of client you have. So this is an example of a listing. Every listing that Terry has, we created this template. We copy the template, put it into the listings folder. As you can see there, we call it by the name of the address and then paste it all inside there so that every single time there's not, oh, where did I put it? Did I put it on my desktop? Oh my goodness. Take me up on that offer of an hour and a half to look at your desktop set. I've seen everything, but when people save actual stuff on their desktop, you slow down your computer. It should only be shortcuts on your desktop. And this kind of stuff, we know where everything is. So we know the photos are always under the name of the street, under the photos folder, offers are under the offers folder, marketing stuff's under marketing, listing docs are under listing docs. And we've actually, I don't have it on here, but we've actually created something different now, is that we also have a folder that says shared documents with other agents for 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever, Broadway, whatever the street address is. That's where anything that the other agent requires would be under there with the rights on that, just that folder, that they can look at it themselves. Okay, does that make sense? That's that shared link that I was talking about. Okay. Okay, so I can't stress enough how important it is to have a proper folder structure on your computer, and then also on that email address, the same folder structure. So you don't have to think about how do I do it on my email folder list and how do I do it on my computer. They should be the same. So you don't have to think about it. You know where your stuff is, okay? Again, darcitraining.com. I have whole courses on this kind of stuff and folder structure if you're interested in that. Now let's talk a little bit about the devices for going paperless. Obviously, you need a computer of some sort, a laptop, some kind of device. Doesn't have to be Apple, it can be Samsung or whatever, it doesn't matter. Sometimes it's easier to have a pen, like a stylus for your touch screen. So is anyone using styluses? I know that the Jot pen is pretty cheap. It's reasonable and lots of people like it. I personally haven't tried it, but I know people who have, and so they've been using the Jot pen. So check that out. And then again, the apps and software you need to go from paperless is to download Dropbox on your devices, or Google Drive on your devices, or iCloud on your devices, you know what I mean? Or OneDrive on your devices to get the appropriate software that you may need to do editing on documents, right? And e-signature software, like we were talking about, whether it's .loop or DocuSign or DigiSign or whatever you're going to use. See if they have the mobile app. And here's the thing, I know AuthentiSign's mobile app isn't really a mobile app, it's a web link. So it's just the same stuff in a smaller screen, which I don't love. Website again, Ray, can you put my darcitraining.com and darcitalks.com in the chat, as well as the promo, Natalie, because you can get a deal if you want some help. That would be awesome. Thanks, Ray. Scanning app. So here's the thing for Apple users. I'll talk about this in a second. Actually, I think it's on the next slide. So just a sec. Yep. Okay. Whoops. PDF annotation. So strike throughs and adding text to documents. And I know not all areas, some places in the States, you, excuse me, you can't do that. But, Ray, I think you put that in there twice. Can you put the promo link in there, please? Thanks. But still think about how this works, okay, if you're going to edit anything. So also, here's another thing that sometimes agents don't think about is that whatever you're using, you can also use it for your personal stuff as well, right? We just had to sign something off for some wills we're doing, right? So we imported it into DocuSign, signed off, no big deal, or you can do it on AuthentiSign or .loop or DigiSign, whatever. You can use it for personal stuff that you need to sign as well, okay? But on each of the different laptops, okay, Mac, you can use Preview to edit for free. And PCs, PDF Escape is something that some agents use. Adobe is one I'm going to show you. So we will show you how Adobe works. Doug Williams, CRA does not allow, oh, sorry, yeah. So the government, Doug is talking about our government. Yeah, government, for sure, you still have to fax stuff over, but I'll tell you how I don't have a fax machine. I use online services to fax, because I would never use a fax machine unless I have to do something with our government. And so, you know, there you go. I can't even remember. I've used, I just Googled free fax software and used that, and it was worked perfectly. Okay, so back to desktop. So Mac, PC, Adobe. I will talk about how Adobe works today, because a lot of people don't understand that, and it's a kind of a little known secret I'll share with you today. On tablets and smartphones, Apple devices, and I will show you this today, PDF Expert is editing software. And Goodreader, I don't use, but some other people have told me that they like that, so that's another one. Android is Easy PDF. You can test these three out and see. You can also go, Ray, if you can put in my resource page, anything that I think agents should know about or to use, and I think those three are there. If not, Ray will add them. you can go look at my resource page, apps for agents that I or somebody has tested, and I will put them up there. Scanning apps. Now, Scanner Pro is one of my all-time favorite apps. Again, this is Apple only. There's other ones for other devices. JotNot, Cam Scanner is another good one. And some are free or some are paid. I paid for Scanner Pro, and I'll just tell you how Scanner Pro works. So Scanner Pro is the company's called, I think you say Readdle. And what they do is they bundle a lot of their software, and they've got some cool software. So when I purchased it ages ago, but when I bought it, I think it was like $15, and I got PDF Escape, Scanner Pro, and Wi-Fi printing. So I can print from all my devices, and I can scan from all my devices, and I can use their PDF Expert as well. Okay, but pick whatever one you want, and you can get started on that. Genius Scan's another free one. And again, they're free for only Fast Scanner. Thank you, Marlena. Fast Scanner is free. So what happens, again, free is free, but they want you to obviously pay for you. Just like these webinars are free to you, but I hope that you'll see the value in my knowledge, and that you will hire me to help you become more efficient with technology, right? There's always a goal. Free, usually the scanning apps or the apps are that they'll allow you to do so many of the scans, and then you have to upgrade, right? It's usually not, or there's ads that are irritating. So there's usually some cost involved of it being free, okay? Okay. E-signature. So in Canada, we have the two main ones, DocuSign and Authentisign. I know my American lovely friends out there, you use some other ones as well, Dotloop. We use Dotloop here as well. But really, if you think about it, again, for my American friends as well, is that I don't know if your software can also attach to where you're doing your contract. So for us, when we're using web forms, we have the ability to integrate DocuSign and or Authentisign, which means that this is really important if you don't understand this. When you're in web forms, right, and you do up whatever contracts, what most people, if they're not integrated, what they do is they save it somewhere, usually on their desktop, then they spend 10 minutes later trying to find out what they called it, where it is, then they import it into the document signing. But if you're set up properly, from doing the contract on web forms, you just say send directly to DocuSign or Authentisign. Like, that's life-changing in itself right there, right? If you don't understand what I mean, you need to understand that part, okay? So that's really important to be able to integrate it. And right now, these are the two, there's another, I think it's called Fall Tour is another one, and another one is called Secure Share, that are all on web forms, okay? But these are the two big ones that people are always saying, use DocuSign, use Authentisign in Canada, okay? Okay, this is, again, my American friends, I don't know all the rules and regulations for you, but I know it is allowed. The federal government says, yes, it's good. According to the council here, it's good. I don't want to read all this stuff. You can look at it later. I'm always happy to share these screens, these slides if you want, so you can talk to Ray. The courts have ruled it fine. What form can they take? So you can sign. You can pick a default signature that is on all the different signing apps I've ever looked at. You can sign your own. You can choose one of their generic ones, whatever one, it doesn't really matter, or you can put a little happy face. In the world of how electronic document signing works, it's not so much about the signature anymore. It's the other stuff that's happening that you don't really see in the background. When they signed it, what IP address. So there's a whole bunch of other tracking that you don't actually see unless you go and look at the history of the certificate in certain software, okay? So you could essentially sign a little, happy face, and that could be legal. Most people would never do that because people like their signatures to look like their signatures. Does that make sense? Okay. Okay. So here's the thing I want you to understand, and this is what when I'm teaching the DocuSign course at our board, I say this many, many times over and over so people understand the process. If you can understand the process, it doesn't really matter which software because the process is the same, okay? So you get the PDF or the document from somewhere. Does that make sense? You either do it on an email. Someone sends you a document to be signed or to be edited. You sometimes go to your own computer to get it. You might go to web forms. You might go to cloud storage, but you got to get that document from somewhere. Does that make sense? Then you may be editing it. You may not be, depending on what you're doing, but you may be editing it. If you're editing it, then you need to use some kind of editing software. A DocuSign, Authentisign, Adobe, PDF Expert, something, right? I'm going to show you that live in a minute, okay? E-sign software, DocuSign, Authentisign, yes. You add the signers, you send it, the signers sign, and everybody gets a copy. What most people don't really understand is that all the ones I've ever tested is that once the last person finished signing, the agent and all the signers all get a PDF copy. You don't have to forward it to them after. You shouldn't have to if it's good software. Everybody gets a copy. And here's the thing that a lot of people don't get either. You can add the other agent to get a CC once everybody's signed off on it. Like, what a time saver, right? What a time saver. So this is really important to understand, is that this process really doesn't change no matter what software you're using, okay? All right, so I'm gonna do a demo now. You guys ready? Okay, so first I'm gonna show my computer, and bear with me. Sorry, please repost the app suggested by Darci for PDF scan. It's up above if you scroll up on the chat, Eva. It's up above, darcitalks.com. If you always go to my webpage, it says Agent Apps, tap on there and it'll show all the apps I recommend agents to use currently. And that's sometimes changing. Okay, so let me show you what I'm going to do. I'm going to, hold on. I gotta get out of here. There, you see my lovely screen, right? I'm going to pop my other screen up here. Oh, how am I going to do this? Okay, so you're actually going to see my inbox and my email. I am an Outlook user. Yes, I am messing up. Okay, so I open up in my email. Okay, so let's pretend that somebody sent me an offer and I open it up in my email on my computer. Okay, so I'm going to open it up. Now, this is a Windows computer. You would use the preview app on a Mac, but obviously I can only show one thing at a time. Open this up. Okay, so everybody sees this, and this is a really little known kind of hidden feature of Adobe. It is just Adobe Acrobat Reader. I'm not paying for this. It is not any monthly software. It just comes with a computer, and if it doesn't come with your computer, you can download it for free. And what's really interesting about this is this, if I scroll down here, this little edit PDF, it takes you and they want you to buy the software to edit it. And what's interesting is that if you go comment, for our purposes of editing and adding text, it brings up this editing software. So if I scroll down, and I am not going to do a complete contract or anything, I'm just going to show you how it works, because that's what this is all about here. Okay, so let's say I want to edit this contract, and I'm just going to go here and I want to do a strike through. I tap on the strike through. That's now active. It's blue, if you can see that. And I just highlight what I want to be strike through. All right. And again, let's say I want to do this one. I go like this, and I can, oh, not, there we go, strike through. And I want to add text. I just go to the text box and I place it where I want it. And I type in, let's just, I don't know, whatever. Oh, 8. Oh my goodness, 800. Okay, and then if I wanted to do another text box over here, I just go 800. Does that make sense? Pretty easy, right? This is an easy way to do it on a computer. Any questions on this? Okay, let me just see. Do I have any chat? When it's CC'd with the other agent, does the agent see any client's email addresses? No, all they get is the PDF to their email, right? They don't see anything except the signed PDF. Okay, so at this point, I'm not going to do the whole thing because I want to be done by 10. I just want you to understand how this works. So then I would save this. I would save this under the proper, I'm not going to today, but I would normally save this under the proper folder structure, but for ease of time, just to show you, I'd go save as, and I say, okay, where do you want to save it? I want to save it to my G drive. Where in your G drive? I'm just going to save it in my downloads, but normally, okay, DocuSign webinar, July 12th, 2019, so I can find that, and I'm going to save it. So then when I go to DocuSign, let me just go over here. I gotta go bring all this stuff over here. Get it on my Facebook. Okay, let's go over here to DocuSign. Just gonna close this. I want to save and close. I was gonna show you something, so I was pre-doing something. So I would say start now. Again, whatever process, whatever you're in, Authentisign, .loop, whatever you're using, it's the same process. So I can upload. This is what's cool. Now I'm on my computer, so I could just upload from my hard drive, right? But I could also say, go to Google Drive on the web and grab it, right? I'm not going to, I'm just going to make it easy because I saved it under the downloads folder and I called it, what did I hear, this one, and that's it. I'm adding it. I say next. I put the people's names in it, and then I can add the signatures. Does that make sense? Right? And yes, Nina, great question. I'm going to show you actually how you can use editing in DocuSign. Why don't I do this right now, actually, while I'm here? Because it's an interesting thing about DocuSign. So I'm going to do, I did Fred Flintstone. He's my guy. I always use Fred Flintstone. I want to show you Flintstone. And I'm going to use my personal, and I'm going to add another recipient. And I'm going to use Wilma Flintstone. Okay, and that's the Yahoo account. Okay, and I'm not going to set signing order because I want you to understand what you have to know about document signing, using DocuSign for document signing, and some other softwares like this too. So you have to understand this. Okay. Okay, so we go next. I added the recipients. I could add the other agent and say instead of needs to sign gets a copy. When I'm adding another agent, I would always say set signing order. I like the set signing order in the sense that nobody sees anything until it goes in the order that you've put it. Okay, I'm not going to totally get into that, but it's important to understand. So I just uploaded that document where I put that 800, and I know this is not right. I'm just trying to do this really fast. So right now, I'm on Fred Flintstone. You have to remember this, okay? So let's say I also wanted to strike through some terms. Let's just see. Let's just say, oh, I don't know. Let's just say I want to change the possession date, okay? So here's markup tools in the paid version. The free version, you don't get this. Okay, so I'm just gonna go strike through that. So that, if you understand how this works, that markup tool, which is the strike through, is attached to the page, right? So it doesn't matter whether it's Fred or Wilma, it's attached to the page. The other, so I'm now gonna change this date to, oh, what about the right year? This is a really old document I grabbed. Okay, and if I didn't like that where it's placed, I can move it around. So let's say that's way better placement, yay. And then I go back and I could use text. Okay, so I'm gonna change this text and I'm gonna call it July 13th. Okay, perfect. And then I'm gonna put text over here too to put 2019. Okay, 2019, okay. So what you have to understand about this is this yellow stuff is attached to Fred. Okay, remember, you have to remember this, okay, for later. So I'm attaching July 13th to here and 2019 to here. And then I'm going to put Fred. Fred should sign off here and Fred should initial here. I'm not going to do all of it, you guys, just because I want to save time here. Let's go back up to where those other changes that Fred has to sign here and here. Okay, and then I'm going to go to Wilma, who is blue, just so only for the agents to try and figure out what who you're putting the initials for, right? So I'm going to just put her initials here and her initials here. And then I would do this way better if I was not trying to do rush. Like I like it to look. Okay, so there and there. Okay, so that looks kind of shitty, but whatever. Okay, so if you think this through and I send this off and Wilma opens it first, do you know what Wilma sees? Think about that while I actually do it. I'm going to send it, say next, blah, blah, blah. I can change all this to say whatever, offer on blah, 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 street, right? Street. And I can send a personal message in here. I'm just trying to, for the sake of time, just get this done. Okay. So I'm going to send this off and I set no signing order. Remember that. I think you should set, if you're going to use DocuSign, if I can give you one tip, you're going to use DocuSign for editing, which you can. There's a few things you have to understand. I'm going to show you. You should set signing order, and that was the Yahoo account. Okay, so let me just refresh this and hope this, there we are. So I got the offer. This is Wilma signing this first because she opens it first. This is really important for you to understand. Okay. Okay, and you should also, this is another thing that I think you should test this on yourself to a pretend email and understand, okay, your clients might go, well, what do I do? Well, you should know that every time it's going to say, do you want to allow or block? Allow, we want to track stuff. It's no big deal. I review the documents and continue. Sometimes there's a little initial saying, I agree to do DocuSign, but I've used this before, and so I've already agreed. If they have questions, this is going to pop up. You should know all this stuff on whatever software you're using. You should understand the client process. Okay. And then, you know, you say, hey, you're going to get a thing to ask about location. Just say yes, you're going to get this, blah, blah, right? Makes sense? Okay. So I'm going to start. Okay. So that's great because we did this part in Adobe, right? So I am Wilma. I'm signing here, signing here. You see what happened? Are you guys all going, oh my gosh, I've done this before and I've messed up? Everybody, do you see? Come on, type in that chat box. Do you see the problem? I added the text to Fred. So Wilma could sign off on this, but if it ever went to court and they could figure out what happened here, that she actually didn't know what she was signing, there was no changes, you'd be in huge trouble. No comments? Are you guys all processing this? This is really important. And I see this because I teach this course and okay, I'm glad you guys see it. Now, can you use it? Yeah, for sure you can do this, but you have to understand what you're doing. So I can't go over this all again, but I want, because we have time constraints, but what I want you to understand, again, this is all in my course as well, the, excuse me, darcitraining.com, that you guys get 50% off only for 3 days and then the deal is gone. So I can't tell if, yeah, if you're, it'll also be, I'm recording this on my Facebook page. So you can go over there to look at it as well if you want to look at it in a bigger screen. Because if you're looking at it on a small iPhone, you're not going to obviously be able to see this very well, right? Okay, so this is important. So what I want to show you now is I'm going to go to Fred. And Fred would have got this. This is my junk email where I test everything. So it's got a bunch of crap in it, but we want to get that DocuSign. Okay, there's the DocuSign. So now as Wilma, I didn't hit finish. Whoops, no, I want to hit here. Review document. Okay, and again, now I am Fred. Continue, start. Same thing, I see the same thing as Fred, but now 2 things that you have to understand. One is because the text that I added, was attached to Fred, now I see it. So if Fred does this and hits finish, then Wilma will, when it's refreshed, she will also see this, the text boxes. So 2 things that I did on purpose to screw you up, so you understand that when agents do this, how it can mess you up. One is I did not set signing order in editing, and you should. And the other thing is I did not set the text box to be read only. So I, as a client, now could go in here and make changes and say yes, yes, and I could make a change here and hit finish. And then we're going to go back to Wilma. Where am I here? Wilma. Okay, I'm just going to refresh the screen, go here, and now you're going to see, hopefully we'll understand what some implications of DocuSign. Now it's fine to use, you just have to understand what the implications are. So now we signed that and that. And I think, oh, well, she sees this. Now she sees all this other crap that Fred put, right? And now she can sign off on it. Do I hear a, oh, I get why you've probably seen this before. Your client saying, I don't see the changes. That's why. Now there's other ways to kind of, you could send it to yourself or add yourself as the agent and put all this, the markups on you, which is fine too. I just think, just remember always, if you're going to use DocuSign as an editor, you can, but you have to say set signing order. If you're doing it the way I'm just talking about, set signing order, and the text boxes have to be read only. Okay? Any questions on that? Got about 8 minutes to finish up. Now, what I like about the mobile app, and I'm going to just switch over to the mobile app. Let's just see if I can do this quickly and show you how awesome this is. I am going to be fast on this. I actually think the mobile app is way easier. I have to open up some software so you can see my iPad. I'm going to show you my iPad. 1 second. iPad. Okay. Let's see. Yes. Okay. And yes, that's fine. Oh, what did I do? I just closed it. Sorry, let me just try that again. Hold on. Air server. Too many windows open. Okay. That is perfect. And that. And then I'm just going to flip this over here so you can see my iPad. Okay. So now you're actually looking at my iPad. Okay. Okay. So I have that same offer. I'm just going to open it up in my iPad. Okay. iPhone, iPad, Android is all very similar. Of course, there's nuances because there's different software. But I'm going to do this really fast because I want to end by, well, maybe just a little bit over 10. So I open this up and I look and I say, yeah, I don't like this offer, blah, blah, blah. On an Apple device, that little arrow on the top right up here, I tap on it and I say, I'm going to edit it in PDF Expert. Okay, I'm going to edit it in the editing software that comes with this device. Okay, it's going to be really fast. I'm not going to do everything on here. And this. So I'm just going to, and again, it's usually easier with a little stylus or something, right? And let's say up here, strike through. And then I'm only going to do one thing just for the ease. Same thing on the other side, 50. And then I want to tap in here. Oh, tap again, and I want to put text right here, and I'm going to put, again, I'm going to do that same 800. Ignore my typos and I make it capitalized, whatever. I just want you to get the gist of what the heck I'm doing. Does that make sense? Okay. You can't hear me. Is everybody else can hear me okay? My mic is actually on my computer, so yeah, I guess maybe when I turn my face. So let me just sorry about that. I have a new setup because I'm working from 2 different offices and I got to go get another. Oh yes, other people can hear me. Good. I thought it was okay, but yeah, when I turn my face, you're right. I have to get a Yeti microphone, which are awesome. Okay, so let's say I've done all the editing I have on this contract. Okay, so perfect. Then I say done. And then I tap on the 3 dots up at the top and I say share and I flatten. Flatten means make all the changes and add it to or push it to this piece of paper. Okay. And so I say always flatten no matter what software you're using, my friends. If it comes up with that option, always flatten. Okay. And now it says, oh, okay, well, where do you want to send this to? Well, I want to send this to the mobile version of DocuSign. Now, again, some of you guys use other pieces of software. If they have a mobile version, that's awesome because the mobile version works with touchscreen. Have you ever tried to go log on to your bank, let's say, on the web version and try to do stuff and it's painful? That's why they have mobile versions of your bank, right? And it's no different. And this is why I think DocuSign wins in a lot of cases because of this mobile app, okay? So I'm just going to say copy to DocuSign. I'm going to probably have to log in, which means oh, thank goodness. Okay. Oh, yeah. I'm going to log in, get away. Okay. Continue. Seriously. Oh my goodness. Hold on. I have to go look up my password. I was logged in on my iPhone. I was going to use it on my iPhone, and then I decided, no, I'm going to do the bigger screen. So just hey, bear with me for 1 second. I'm sorry, you guys. What do I do with my, okay, DocuSign. I have a few DocuSign accounts. I want to make sure I'm logged on to the right one. It is this one. And that is, my password is this. Okay. I know you guys can probably figure out my password if you're smart. Okay, so back to here. I'm logging in, and all it's doing is bringing up that PDF, PDF document that I just edited. Okay, and I want to get a signature. And it says, okay, it's almost the same as the one before. It says, am I signing only as the agent, or do I have others? Well, almost always you're going to say others unless you're doing something for yourself. So again, I can put Fred Flintstone. This is looking at, which is another cool thing, I think, Flintstone, about this is it actually reads your contacts on your device. So if you're set up properly, like I said before, for the proper business email and all your contacts are syncing, it actually reads them. I don't have Fred Flintstone in my actual device, so I'm manually having to type this, gmail.com. Okay, I'm just going to do one just for the sake of this. I'm not going to do another recipient and next, but it's basically the same as what we did on the web version. This is just the mobile version. It looks almost identical, but look at the top here, or the bottom here, it says Fred Flintstone. If I had another person, I would just tap on here and do the other person. But I want to just scroll down. We're just going to add the initials. Where did I make that change here? I'm just going to tap on initials and tap here. I can move it around by highlighting it and just moving it around. And then if I had done some changes elsewhere, I just tap on, tap on here. Initials, that's just another way of doing the same thing, right? You put the initials and the signatures and wherever you need to do. I'd hit next. I can change it again. I can change the title or subject and the message. I'm not going to, just for ease. And I send it. Was that not amazingly easy once you've done it? That was way faster doing it on my mobile device than it was doing it on my computer. Once you've done it a couple times, I think you got to practice it a little bit for sure. Does that make sense? Any questions on that? No questions? Do people know they can make the initial box smaller? I don't know, Doug, but you really, the only case of actually making it smaller is if you've got obviously a bunch of people. Otherwise, it's the perfectly sized initial for the boxes. It's perfectly, I would say you almost never do that unless you're trying to cram like 6 people in to sign and you want to make it. They can make it slightly smaller and maybe slightly bigger, okay? Same with the signature, you can make it bigger or smaller, but it's usually designed for that spot. So if I can show you one thing, actually, because this drives me bonkers, let me just show you one thing. Let me go back to DocuSign and look at my here. I'm going to show you perfect placement, okay? Because this actually drives me crazy. Let me just make this bigger. Oops, bigger. And what do I want to do? I'll just continue. Let me show you, because this is what I see agents do, and it actually does bug me. Okay, blah, blah, blah. We're just going to continue on. Next. Okay, so this is perfect placement. I'm going to add initials here. If you put the line here, and this is the exact beautiful spot to put initials, and Doug's saying, can you make it smaller? Yeah, you don't have to though. That just adds more frustration if you're trying to make the box smaller. This would be perfect. But if you really needed to, any software that has a field that you put on somewhere usually has the little circles, and that just means you can make stuff bigger, smaller. So I could make it smaller if I wanted to, and I could, as long as those circles are active, I could make it bigger. Okay, but this is the perfect placement for DocuSign, is to put it there. And the same with let me get back to a signature spot. I'm just going to put it here. This is the perfect spot to put it here, not here, not here, not like here. You line up the yellow box and the black line. So that is beautiful. Okay. Did you cover applying templates authentic sign? I didn't. Hi, Dennis. How are you? I did not cover that. Let me just flip back. I'm just going to. Is there any other questions while we are here? Ask your questions now, my friends. No questions, Ray? Have I got any questions that I'm missing? No. You're welcome to, okay, ask your questions now while I just finish this up here. Again, I want you guys to obviously make your business run more efficiently. A lot of it is to do with document signing, and that's my goal here. You guys, I have darcitraining.com, Darci Talks. You get a deal today. Well, within 3 days, you sign up. We'll remind you, do it. Do it. Okay, you can, if you're a self-learner, you can obviously go to my darcitraining.com and you get 50% off. And that's really about self-learning. You just watch the stuff when you have time and you can go through the little courses there. There's a whole bunch of courses. You can go look at it at darcitraining.com. If you need more help, an hour-and-a-half session with me, $50 off. Generally speaking, what I do for agents is a 10-hour package where I look at everything. We fix everything in a 10-hour package for one agent. And Ray put in, that's under the mentoring page. That's all on my website. You can check it out. But I want you to dream big, set goals, take action. Just do one thing from this webinar that you learned today to make it your life more efficient. Let me just look. Have you always checked off set sign? Just to confirm, you have to always check off signing order. No, that's not what I said. Let me rephrase that. If you're using DocuSign as an editor, it would be in your best interest to understand how it works. And so you want to set signing orders so that when you, the way I showed it, if you're attaching it to the first person, that they sign first so the second or third people all see the changes you made. You can also do it a different way where you add yourself and you attach the stuff to you. Okay, so like again, I do this for 3 hours on my DocuSign only course. So I'm just touching on light things about how to do things. So just understand that, okay? Just use whatever, dotloop, Authentisign, DocuSign, DigiSign, whatever one that you have, there's training available to understand how it works, okay? That's the key thing, really, is we already talked about who is your agent. Don't be a secret agent, for goodness sakes. Please don't be using those Yahoo emails, the Shaw emails, tell us, AOL, don't do that. I don't think this was answered. Did you show how to switch between signers? I did earlier. Yeah, I did earlier when I had Fred and Wilma. I was flipping between them and adding Wilma's signature and Fred's. Again, you can watch this again if you join my training site. That there's a whole course that you can just stop it and go look at it and pause the info. Are you doing any live presentations at Treb? Dennis, I was just at Treb. I did 3 there. That was a lot. I was just at Treb, but if you have another contact there, I'd absolutely love to go there again and speak at. I was at Realtor Quest. Would love to, connect up with Treb. So feel free to connect with me or hook me up with somebody who I can help with. Who else did RRI this week? I know lots of people did. I saw them on Facebook. I know you need more time for sure. Again, Darci Talks, Ray's put that in there. Oh, the one other thing I wanted to let you know, I talked to people, loved you. Thanks, Martina. You're at Realtor Quest, awesome. One of the things that at Realtor Quest, we announced this, it's not to do it has nothing to do with me, it's just I found it really cool if you don't know about this. Again, it's under my apps page. There's a company now that has a extension called .homes. And so you can have blah, blah, blah .homes instead of .ca, .com, whatever you're using right now, which is pretty cool. For search reasons only. We've bought up about 3 of them. We haven't quite figured out how we're going to use it yet, but we bought up 3 with the .homes extension. And there's a link again under my apps page for agents, darcitalks.com, and you can go, I think it's /apps, but it's also on the very top where it says agent approved apps. Go there, look at the .homes purchase if that's something. If you're new, I would definitely start with a .homes domain, okay? So I think that's it for today. I think I answered all your questions. And yes, I think I did. And you can always ask in the Facebook group too. If you have some questions, you can go to my Facebook group. Ray, if you can put that in there as well. And you can go there and ask questions, and it'll be me and your other peers answering your questions. So thank you so much for joining me today. Happy Friday. I hope you have a fantastic weekend, and we'll see you at the next webinar, which I don't think is actually on here. Ray? Is it? Hold on, am I missing something? Next webinar, yes it is, August 9th. Why using cloud storage will change your life. I talked about that earlier. You must come to the August 9th one about that webinar that's coming up. And again, I have to thank Remax for bringing this to you because they're awesome. And you can go to Remax, getmetro.ca, and you can talk to Cassidy as well if you're looking at maybe switching over. All right. Thank you, you guys. And my last thing, the way to get started is to quit talking and begin doing. All right. Happy Friday. We'll talk to you guys later. Bye.